You've done the hard part, the leads are coming in, but now comes the real challenge, converting those leads into loyal paying clients. Now, most brokers think they have a lead problem, but what they actually have is a conversion problem. The difference isn't in how many people contact you, it's in how well you manage those conversions, how you build trust, how confidently you present your value. In this deep dive video, I'm going to walk you through my approach to maximize every lead without being pushy, salesy, or uncomfortable. This is the exact structure I teach mortgage brokers to close more business while serving better and feeling better doing it. So sales starts with mindset, not scripts. When most people hear the word sales, they picture pressure tactics, awkward pitches, and rehearsed lines. But the real sales, especially in the world of mortgage advice, it isn't about pushing people into a decision. It's about helping them make the right one. You can have the most polished pitch in the world, but if your energy is uncertain, your tone is apologetic, or your beliefs are conflicted, your clients will feel it too. People buy confidence, they buy clarity, and that starts from within. So here's what I mean by mindset in sales. The first thing is your own relationship with money. If you feel uncomfortable charging a fee, that hesitation will bleed into every conversation. Do you truly believe your advice is worth paying for? Why would someone pay you to handle their mortgage? Are you delivering more value than your fee? And do you feel confident saying that? When your energy says, I'm here to help, and not, I'm sorry for charging, people respond positively. Second thing you have is your belief in protection. Many brokers treat insurance as a bolt-on, something they mention at the end. But if you truly believe that financial resilience is a core part of home ownership, your clients will sense that. Protection is not optional, it's responsible. You're not just helping them buy a home, you're helping them keep that home. And when you present protection with belief and clarity, it's not a hard sell, it's a no-brainer. And if you hesitate, they will too. If you anchor it early and explain it clearly, they will trust you. Third thing around mindset is your conviction is the outcome. Sales becomes uncomfortable when you're focused on yourself. Will they say yes? Will I get paid? Shift the focus and think about them. What happens if they go it alone? What if they pick the wrong deal? What if they are unprotected? You see, selling becomes serving when you understand the risks of not helping. When your mindset is clear, confident, and client-focused, you won't need scripts. You'll speak naturally, calmly, and with conviction. You won't feel like you're selling because you won't be. You will be leading. So let's talk about the discovery call, which is the foundation of every sale. Every high-converting mortgage process begins with one thing, and that is a great discovery call. Now, this isn't just a chat. It's where trust is built, clarity is delivered, and authority is established. See, when done right, it's going to set up every conversation that follows, from protection advice to fee structure to client retention. See, I see a discovery call as the moment where you either gain or lose the client. And if you're structured, composed, and client-centered, you'll absolutely win them. But if you're vague, reactive, or rushed, they're going to go elsewhere, I promise you that. So here is a 4-part framework I teach my clients. So the first thing is intention and agenda. So start with presence and purpose. Many brokers rush into the fact find, but your job here is to lead the call. It's not to take notes. So you want to say something at the beginning like this. Say, thanks for making the time today. My goal is to fully understand your situation and to outline how I might be able to help you. Another thing you could say as well is this call typically takes around 30 to 45 minutes, and I'll guide us through a few key areas so you feel clear by the end. You see, this shows professionalism and it disarms objections, and it gives your prospect confidence that you're in control of the process. Now, a key mindset change for this is that you are not chasing their approval. You're assessing if and how you can best serve them. The second part is rapport with purposeful questions. You see, building rapport doesn't mean shallow small talk. It means finding emotional connection points. It means getting your client to open up and to trust you, not just as a mortgage broker, but as an advisor. You want to ask things like, what's inspired this move? How long have you been thinking about this? What's most important to you during this process? You see, these questions, they go beyond logic and they help reveal the following 3 things: the unspoken fears or concerns, family priorities or lifestyle goals, and also decision-making dynamics between couples. See, this step is also where you subtly uncover their mindset around money, responsibility, and protection. Their language here will guide how you frame recommendations later. You want to use silence, use active listening, use empathy. You're not just ticking boxes here, you're making the client feel seen, heard, and guided. The third part is interrogation of hard facts. So once the rapport is built, it's time to get clinical, but without becoming cold. And this is where you dig into the income, to the expenses, to the credit, to the deposit source. You want to identify affordability constraints or lender restrictions. You want to spot any anomalies that may need upfront clarification. More importantly, you're training the client on how you work. You ask the right questions. You know the hidden red flags. You go deeper than any comparison site ever will. You see, this part of the call isn't just about gathering facts. It's about demonstrating how your experience protects them from making all those drastic mistakes. Now, don't rush this. Use plain English to explain why you're asking. Things like, the reason I'm digging into this is because some lenders view variable income very differently. Or, understanding this now means we won't get surprises down the line. Now, the fourth part is the protection pitch. Now for the most underused and misunderstood part of the discovery call. Most brokers leave this to the end, or they skip it entirely. But in my process, protection is positioned as an essential, not an extra. So here's how I frame it. Something like, part of how I work is helping my clients not just get the mortgage, but just to ensure they keep the house and also maintain their lifestyle if something goes wrong. This primes the client to expect the protection conversation later, to see you as someone who thinks holistically and also understands that your job is risk management. It's not about loan facilitation. By the time you reach the recommendation stage, they'll already be thinking about protection. It won't feel like a hard sell. It'll feel like a natural continuation. Now, an advanced tip on this is mirror their own words from earlier. So if they told you family security was a top priority, link your protection conversation directly to that value. When you structure your discovery call this way, everything becomes easier. Clients stay engaged and don't ghost you. Fees and protection feel justified, not forced, and your positioning becomes bulletproof. Your discovery call isn't just where the sale begins, it's where the relationship starts. Now let's talk about the 3 things every client needs to hear before they say yes. There are only 3 things your client needs to believe before they move forward. The more clearly and confidently you communicate these 3 messages, the easier your conversions are going to become. This isn't about manipulation, it's clarity, okay? And it's your responsibility as the advisor to make this decision feel obvious, not stressful. So the first one is, I understand your situation. Before anyone buys anything, especially something as emotionally charged and financially significant as a mortgage, they need to feel understood. Not just listened to, understood. You achieve this by repeating back their goals and concerns using their language. Things like, so I've got this right. Your main concern is making sure your monthly payments stay stable and you don't want to move lenders again for a while. Is that fair? See, you're showing them, I get it. I've been paying attention and I care. This builds safety, trust, and emotional rapport, and it's the foundation for everything else that's going to come next. The second thing they need to hear is, I've helped others like you. Now, this is social proof, but not just 5-star reviews. It's strategic storytelling. Here's how I would frame this, for example. I actually helped another couple where they were also self-employed with similar deposit sizes, and they were worried about income structure as well. And here's what we did. So you want your client to mentally think, okay, so you've done this before and I'm not your first rodeo. So use micro case studies, testimonials, screenshots, and stories from real clients, make sure they're real, that match the prospect situation. This isn't bragging, it's demonstrating experience. The third thing they want to hear is, here's what we're going to do together. Now, confidence lives in clarity. If you're vague, they'll hesitate. But if you say, here's what happens next, I'll send over a recap of today, request a few documents, and we'll book in a second call to walk through your personalized options, the client can then relax. You see, they don't need to figure it out because you've got the roadmap. Even if your process is detailed, simplify it. Step 1. We gather info. Step 2, we explore options. Step 3, we lock in and protect it. You see, you're reducing friction and you're building momentum by doing this. Now, a bonus tip for this is check for understanding at the end of your conversation. So ask, does it all sound good to you? Or is there anything else I haven't answered clearly? And I like this one myself, is on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you feeling about the plan so far? You see, this creates a space for them to express hesitation and for you to address them confidently. If these 3 messages are heard, felt, and believed, the rest of your sales process becomes effortless. Some juicy stuff now. We're moving on to anchoring value through fees and protection. You see, one of the biggest mindset shifts I help brokers make is this. Your fee is not a favor, it's an investment in professional advice. And protection, it isn't a pitch, it's part of the plan. Now, when you understand that and you communicate that confidently, you remove the tension from the sales process and you also elevate the client's experience. You see, clients don't mind paying for value. They mind paying when they don't understand what they're getting. You see, your job is to position that value early, clearly, and consistently. Too many advisors save the fee conversation until the very end, which turns into a debate. Now, I teach brokers to mention it within the discovery call, and here's why. Because it establishes authority. You're a professional, not a free comparison tool. It sets expectation early so clients aren't surprised, and it reinforces your confidence. This is how I work, and here's what's included. You see, how I phrase it would be something like this. My advice fee is X, which covers everything from research and lender negotiation to support, case progression, and protection guidance. You see, you're getting an end-to-end service, not just a product recommendation. Then move on, say it once, confidently, and don't make it a big deal. You also want to anchor value through story. So if you're concerned about the price objections, back up your fee with the outcomes. Share a case study of someone who saved thousands through your advice. Mention how your approach spotted a mistake another advisor missed. Emphasize strongly how you helped someone avoid a bad product or handle a complex lender. Your fee isn't for access, it's for results. Make that visible to the client. Now with protection, you need to position it as essential. Protection uptake dramatically increases when we treat it as a non-negotiable. This doesn't mean being forceful, it means being matter of fact. Saying things like, one of my core roles is to make sure this mortgage doesn't just happen, but also that it's secure. That means looking at what would happen if your income stopped or one of you was to sadly no longer be here. I tell my clients to talk about protection from the first conversation, not because you want to sell it, but because I genuinely believe it's part of responsible advice. Anchoring protection looks like this, saying things like, I include a financial resilience check for every client I work with, or we'll put together a plan that includes both your mortgage and the cover that ensures you can keep your home and your lifestyle. This repositions you as a full service advisor, not a transactional broker, and that increases your average case value significantly. Now, a little tip on this one is avoid apologetic language. So never say things like, I just want to mention, or sorry, but I charge, or I know some people don't like to think about insurance, but you see, instead you want to say, here's how I work. This is a key part of my service. This ensures your mortgage journey is secure and complete. See, confidence sells. It's not about products, it's about trust, which you'll notice because I say all the way through this. When you anchor your value through both your fee and your protection advice, you elevate your brand, you attract better clients, and you will increase your impact and income in the process. Now, this one's a little bit of a favorite topic of mine, which is the power of micro yeses. Now, most people think sales happen in one big yes, but in reality, they happen through a series of small, low pressure affirmations, what I call micro yeses. Now, micro yeses are those subtle points in the conversation when the client leans in, gives you permission to continue, takes another step closer to working with you. Now, these moments feel insignificant in isolation, but together they build momentum, trust, and comfort. Think of it like walking someone across a bridge. Every micro yes is a step forward. You're making it easier for them to keep moving. Now, what do micro yeses look like? Well, here are a few micro yes examples that I tell my clients to use all the time. So does that make sense so far? Would it help if I showed you an example? How does that sound to you? Would you like me to send that over? Shall we pencil in a second call to go deeper on this? See, each of these is a light touch. There's no pressure. It's just a conversational nudge that helps them engage. Now, these micro yeses, they create a rhythm of agreement. They keep clients, you see, involved in the process, and they give them psychological safety. They're not actually being sold to, they're being supported. Now, why do micro yeses matter so much? Well, most people fear being sold to because it feels like something's being done to them. It's quite violating in some ways. Now, micro yeses, they flip that dynamic completely. They create a process that's done with them. Instead of asking for a commitment all at once, you're guiding the client through a series of soft, confidence building checkpoints. And by the time you reach the final call to action, whether that's sending over some terms, booking in a protection appointment, or confirming the mortgage product, they've already agreed with you 7 to 10 times. So how do you practice micro yeses in your mortgage business? Well, you use them in every part of the process: the discovery call, the recommendation call, the protection pitch. You don't want to overuse them though. They should feel natural, not scripted. And you want to make sure that you read the client's energy. If they're nodding or smiling, that's the moment to move forward with a micro yes. Now, a great tip is to also pair your micro yeses with an action step. So for example, does that sound okay? Great. I'll get the document sent over to you for review. Or would you like to see what that might cost? Brilliant. I'll run a quick illustration now. You see, this combines a psychological agreement with a practical movement, which accelerates decision-making significantly. Most sales don't fall apart because of one big objection. They fade away through indecision and hesitation. And micro yeses, they remove the need for one giant leap and replace it with small, easy steps. Now, this is how you can turn a conversation into a conversion. And it's with trust and clarity, as always, but with that micro momentum. Now that you've learned how to maximize every lead, the next step is to learn how to turn one happy client into multiple referrals. And that's what I'm going to cover in the next video in this series, which is all about client retention and creating raving fans. That video is on screen right now, so give it a click.